Steve here. Chapter 3 of Philippians already. In the first verse, the Apostle Paul writes, "Finally, my brethren, rejoice in the Lord. To write the same things to you, to me, indeed, is not grievous, but for you it is safe." Here's the guy in prison encouraging those who are out to rejoice. But notice, rejoice in the Lord. You know, Habakkuk, over in Habakkuk, the prophet there is bemoaning the fact that God doesn't seem to be paying attention to the land. But by the time he gets to chapter 3, he says, look, even though the fig tree doesn't blossom, there's no fruit in the vines, the labor of the olives fails, there's no harvest, there's no herd in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. Wow, I will joy in the God of my salvation. So he looked forward to the direst circumstances, but made a determination that, listen, I got something bigger than just the stuff of earth. I've got the Lord himself, and I will rejoice in his salvation. It's not easy to rejoice in hard times unless you have that hope, unless you have a hope beyond yourself, something on which to fix your eyes, something to lift your gaze upward. Paul knew that he had a higher hope. He was headed for a higher ground, and he could rejoice. The psalmist wrote in Psalm 35:9, "My soul shall be joyful in the Lord. It shall rejoice in his salvation." There's a lot to praise God for in that salvation. In our daily bread, Louis Albert Banks tells of an elderly Christian man who was a singer, and he found that he had cancer of the tongue. And he asked the doctor, he said, "Doc, are you sure I won't be able to sing again?" The doctor said, "I'm afraid you will never sing again." So the man said, "Can I sit up for a minute?" So he sat up in bed. He said, I've used this voice many times singing praises to God, and you see I can never sing again. I have one song that will be my last. It will be a song of praise and gratitude toward God." And he sang the old hymn. Then, in front of the doctor, "I will praise my Maker while I've breath, and when my voice is lost in death, praise shall employ my nobler power. My days of praise shall ne'er be past, while life and thought and being last, or immortality endures." Rejoice in the Lord. You ponder that, Pastor Steve.